The Roz and Mocha Show. KiSS 92.5.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to KiSS 92.5, The Roz and Mocha Show. Welcome to Toronto, Mr. Michael Knight himself, Mitch Buchanan. Do not hassle the Hoff, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hasselhoff.
Good morning.
How you doing, man?
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Look at you.
I've done so much work here.
Yeah.
So great.
Still got good-looking hair, too.
Still got hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you worry? Because when you start playing, when you play the roles that you did, the hair was so much part of it. When did you stop worrying about going bald?
I had a friend who was an actor, and he started losing his hair in the 20s, and he flipped out. It was awful.
Yeah.
I would have just said one word, wig. Get the wig. Kid, bring me the wig. Michael, there's no wigs left.
You haven't aged, though.
I've aged, buddy. I've aged.
Yeah.
I got the insides of Elvis. I just look good on the outside.
Right. How old are you? Can we ask
61,
that?
baby.
61.
61.
How old do you feel?
I feel, my knees feel 61.
Yeah.
My brain feels about 35.
Nice.
Maybe 40 because I'm getting smarter as I get older. I feel a little panicked because things are really taking off again. I think you have 5 careers in your life. That's what Marlon Brando. You have 5 careers, man, in your life, and you have to survive those down times. And so I've survived the down times. And I think I'm on my 5th career. I've got so much going on now that I want to live, man.
Do you feel like you've come around? Because a guy like you, when you hit in the 80s, people tend to look back at stuff like that and we go, oh my God, I can't believe I watched that, or I can't believe I liked that. You're one of the guys that weathered that storm. Weathered that, I can't believe that I was actually a huge fan of that. And you've come out on the other side super cool because of it.
Well, Knight Rider has a life of its own. It's 30 years now. I mean, can you imagine you get a script? First they've got ER, they've got Hill Street Blues, all these shows that are supposedly cool. Yeah. I get a script with a talking car. I call my dad. I said, Dad, it's about a talking car. He says, have you been drinking? I said, no. He said, you should start it. But I knew it was great. Yeah. I loved In Like Flint. I still like to do In Like Flint. James Coburn, like the American James Bond, but cool. Yeah. With a kind of a little, funny twist to it. And
when they brought back Knight Rider, when NBC decided to do the reboot,
I brought that back.
Was it your? Yeah,
it was my idea, my treatment, and they said, "Okay, we have good news and bad news. The good news is we're doing it. The bad news is you're not going to be in it."
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
So how were they able? If you were the one that went to them and gave them the idea to bring it back, how were they not able to?
Because I didn't own Night Rider, I own Baywatch. Oh. Someone like coming up to Spielberg and saying, "I have an idea for E.T." He goes, "Great, thank you very much. You just gave me that idea." Yeah. You can't. And you know what? The NBC's been so good to me. I couldn't sue them, so I said, "Well, go ahead, do it, but please don't. Please adhere to heart, humor, action, and the retro." Kit. Yeah. And unfortunately they went a different direction, but it's still alive. It's at the Weinstein Company. I'm still knocking on their doors, hitting them in the head saying, don't make a comedy of this, make it retro and it'll be huge.
Do you own Baywatch?
Part of it.
Part of it. Yeah. Because Baywatch made you a lot of money.
Baywatch is still making me a lot of money.
Really?
How many countries is it re-airing in right now?
It's it's bigger. Knight Rider was the precursor. Knight Rider was the reason Baywatch made it. To this day, everywhere I go, it's still Michael Knight. Yeah. Everybody, because it's kind of like I'm. The Comic-Con's great for me because I'm a product of kids' childhood. And Knight Rider really was sci-fi. Yeah. Because the cars are all talking now. Sure, that's 30 years ago, man. Yeah. They all have LEDs. We were way ahead of it. And so we didn't know, but all these stars come up to me and they freak out when they see me because I realize that they saw me when they were little kids. Yeah. But then the Baywatch came along, and because of Knight Rider, we were able to buy Baywatch, Yeah. Specifically because of Germans. Because the Germans said, "Can you bring us more Knight Riders?" And I said, no, the show's been canceled. I have a new show. Does it have a car? I said, no, it doesn't have a car. But you're in it, yeah? I said, yes, it's running down the beach. Same thing. One man can make a difference, saving lives. No car. I said, no car. I said, but you're in it. Yes, I'm in it. We buy it anyway. So they gave us the money. We bought the show from the network for $1. And we became the number one show in the world for $1 an episode.
Because it was canceled after year one, right? Yeah. Baywatch.
We sold it for $500 million. So.
It's fun. Somebody did, by the way, David Hasselhoff is here. Fan Expo Canada opens today, runs until the 25th. David Hasselhoff appearing at Fan Expo. today, August 22nd, till Sunday, August 25th. All right. There was a fantastic documentary that came out a little while ago. I think it was on National Geographic where they talked about the 80s.
Oh, in the 80s?
It was, the 80s. That was the decade that defined us. And the big question with you growing up, everybody knew you were really, really big in Germany, but nobody knew why you were really big in Germany. Nobody could ever answer that question, and they did in this documentary, and it was fascinating with your impact in Berlin and East and West Germany when people were stealing television signals because they had nothing else that they could see, and at that time, Knight Rider was being broadcast, and you were the only outlet for a population of people of the outside world. Do you realize, like, do you ever sit and think that you're the reason, you were the thing when somebody was like, I wonder how big this world is.
You know,
we got to get out of here, and you were the face they saw.
I realized that I had this power. I felt like Elvis Presley. I could go anywhere.
Bigger than Elvis.
I went to Soweto during apartheid, and they put me on the blacklist, but I was able to go in and affect people in a positive way. So I went behind the wall, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
And met these and saw that these people were actually in prison, and I was actually going back and forth maybe 8 or 9 times, and we were secretly doing it, kind of just having fun, and then and seeing what this was about because we could. And then the wall came down, and we found out that my song "Looking for Freedom" was ¡1 for 8 weeks at the time the wall came down. And we found even 20 years later, I took my daughters on tour, and the people started crying when they met my daughters. And my daughter, why are you crying? He said, you have no idea. When we were little kids, our only outlet to freedom was your dad's song. I've been looking for freedom. And it was the first English words out of their mouth because they could only speak German, and the second language was Russian.
Wow.
And they were really oppressed. And now it's come around that we're doing a documentary about me at the wall because we found out that the Stasi put David Hasselhoff on their list. And the Stasi was a secret police. And they, so luckily I got out of there.
Get out of here.
You were on the secret police.
Yeah. And I'm going to go back and do a little report about it. But it was amazing. It affected a lot of people in a positive way. And I think that's what's cool about television and the music, huh?
Do your kids at this point now, how old are your kids?
21 and 23 now.
Do they realize now, even still with everything, how big of a worldwide star you are?
They go, the
impact that you've had on people's lives.
They do now. They didn't until they went on tour with me and saw what happened in Germany, and then we went. Like I said, we went to East Germany. We went way back in what was East Germany, and those people are still recovering. And they saw. I just finished a 3-day Hoff festival in Austria, and they think my songs are pretty corny, but
Do you think your songs are corny?
You know what's so funny is people don't think they're corny anymore, and before one German asked me the greatest question ever. He says, "Do you think that your songs would be so successful if the Germans actually understood what you were singing?" I said, "Absolutely not."
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Hasselhoff, again, Fan Expo kicks off today.
Come down and say hi.
Sunday at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Mr. Hasselhoff, if there's one thing you want to say to your Toronto fans, whether they know you as Michael Knight or Mitch Buchanan, what would that be?
I just love you guys for sticking with me, and come on, the ride is still continuing. I'm still hungry for what's over the hill. Come on down to the Expo Center and say hi to me and take a picture with me and my old buddy Kit.
And by the way, between my deep V and your 3 buttons from the top, there's a lot of chest going on in this room right now.
Who's lower?
I like you.
The Roz and Mocha Show. KiSS 92.5.